Julian sat at his mahogany desk, the city skyline blurring into a gray mist outside his window. He had built his empire through grit and sleepless nights, but now, the spreadsheets felt like a foreign language he no longer understood. He felt like a captain navigating a ship through a dense fog, unable to see the reefs or the shore. A soft knock at the door broke his concentration. Alara stepped in, her presence bringing an immediate sense of order to the cluttered room. She was his chartered accountant, but as she placed her leather portfolio on the desk, Julian realized she was the only person who wasn't intimidated by the mountain of data piled before him. "The annual filings are ready for your signature, Julian," Alara said, taking a seat. "But we aren't here to talk about what has already happened. We need to talk about what comes next. Your numbers are telling a story, and I don't think you're reading the chapters in between." Julian sighed and leaned back in his chair. "Alara, I see costs rising and margins thinning. I'm a builder, not a mathematician. I just need to know how much is in the bank at the end of the month so I can keep the lights on." Alara shook her head gently and walked toward the glass whiteboard. "An accountant records history, Julian. A strategic partner helps you write it. Look at your distribution costs. They aren't just expenses. They are a signal that your current model has reached its limit." She didn't talk about tax brackets or depreciation. Instead, she spoke of opportunity cost and, quote, capital efficiency. She showed him how by restructuring debt and pivoting his supply chain, he could free up the cash flow he had been craving for his new R&D department. For the first time in months, Julian didn't see a wall of debt. He saw a bridge. Alara hadn't just balanced his books. She had reframed his entire perspective on the company. She was providing the clarity he needed to take the risks he had previously feared. They began to meet every month, not just during tax season. Each time, Alara challenged his assumptions. She asked the hard questions about vendor loyalty and market volatility. She became the mirror that reflected the hidden truths of his business, helping him see the turns he didn't know existed. A year later, the atmosphere of the company had shifted. The factory floor hummed with the sound of the new production line they had planned together. The numbers were no longer a source of anxiety. They were the wind in Julian's sails, driven by a strategy that went far beyond bookkeeping. "I used to hire you just to stay compliant with the government," Julian admitted, raising a coffee cup on the office balcony. Alara smiled, looking out over the empire they were refining. "Julian, my job isn't just to count your success. It's to help you engineer it.